Chapter 17. Nicholas opened his eyes to a world in motion. He looked out from under a table attached to the wall. Raincoats on hooks, a towel hanging from the stove, and a basket of fruit suspended from the ceiling swung back and forth. Edward awoke nearby. "I don't think I feel so good," he groaned. "Good morning, Edward," Nicholas said cheerfully. Sparkling sunlight filled the small room. "It isn't raining anymore, but this little house is jumping all over the place." Nicholas tried his feet on the moving floor. "I think I can get up to the window. Maybe I can see what is going on." "See if you can make it stop moving," Edward said, rolling over and shutting his eyes. Nicholas scampered up to the window ledge. "Edward, there is water all around. We're on a boat. Isn't this fun?" "No, it's not fun. My stomach is moving around too much for this to be fun." "I have never seen such a sight in all my life," Nicholas said. He heard scratching at the door. A black snout nosed it open. A Labrador puppy bounded in. He sniffed around, zeroing in on Edward. The puppy barked sharply twice. "Oh, go away," Edward groaned. "I'm in no mood to play." "What are you doing on my boat?" the puppy asked. He sniffed at Edward. The dog's wet nose was close enough for Edward to feel his puppy breath. The dog's tail wagged happily in the air. "If I had known how a boat rolls, I never would have come," Edward said, opening one eye. "You can believe that." "Isn't it the best?" the dog asked. "This is my third trip, and I still love it." The puppy bounded over to the stove and shook the towel hanging there in a playful sort of way. The towel pulled free, and the dog sat back with a bump. He looked up and saw Nicholas. "Hey there, little mouse. What are you doing here? Did you sign on to go fishing too?" "We just wanted to get out of the storm last night. Where are we going?" "We are headed for the greatest fishing spot in the world," the puppy said. "Fishing boats have been sailing out of Gloucester for years, headed for the Grand Banks. When we get back, I can show you around." "Will we be back tonight?" Nicholas asked. "Tonight? No, we'll still be streaming out to the fishing grounds tonight. We could be gone for a week or more. It all depends on the fishing. Isn't that awesome?" "A week!" Edward sat up. His eyes were bloodshot and the fur on his head stood out in all directions. "I don't think I will live that long." "Aw, you'll be all right," the puppy said. "My dad said he always got sick the first day at sea, but he got used to the motion." The information didn't cheer up Edward any. He fell over in a heap. "Is your dad on the boat too?" Nicholas asked. "No, he is back home. He says he's too old to go fishing anymore. My dad taught me all about fishing. The captain lets me come now. Do you want to come out on deck? I can show you around." "Sure. What do you think, Edward? Do you want to go see the boat?" Edward lifted his arm and weakly waved them on. "My name is Antonio, but my dad calls me Tony. What's your name?" "I'm Nicholas. Sometimes my mom calls me Nick." "It's nice to meet you, Nick. You have to be careful out here. As my dad always says, there are more ways to get hurt on a fishing boat than almost anywhere else." The two animals were out on the stern deck of the red and white deep-sea trawler. "Doesn't the sea air smell great?" Tony said. He darted around to the ropes and cables. He shivered in his excitement. "Come on," he said, disappearing behind the big cable winch. "When we haul the net back up on deck, it will be full of wiggling fish. The crew sorts them out and stores the fish in the hold." "What's your job?" Nicholas asked. "My job is to keep the captain company when he's running the boat. The crew will be on deck. I stay with him mostly." "Actually," Tony said, looking toward the wheelhouse, "I am supposed to be up there right now. You should check on your seasick friend." He headed forward, taking the roll of the fishing boat in stride. Nicholas stayed on the deck by himself. He breathed in the clean, cold, salt air. The boat charged on, heading out to sea. Land fell farther and farther astern as the boat rode up and over each wave. He had made it to the coast at last, he thought. And yet, Nicholas felt no closer to finding his uncle now than when he started out months before.